Hello YouTube. 3 years ago I went out and shot on a Pentax K1000. This shoot was super fun. It was quite early into my dabble with film photography, and if you've watched the video you will have known that the ending of it didn't go to plan. It was so close to being great, but then I'll let you watch that video in your own time. So today we're going out for redemption. We're going to be doing the exact same shoot 3 years later, and I'm going to take you along with me. We are back in the same spot to reclaim some lost photos. Now I'm gonna skip the photos I took along here, and I'm just gonna move the car directly back over here. It's a much nicer looking spot. All right, welcome. Let's get some photos, hey? Just loaded up the camera. Might advance it one more time. 0. Good to go. All right, let's just start off with taking off the lens cap, of course. Let's just get our 3/4 shot, hey? Very nice and easy. Let's get the rear. Oh, I really love the little dirt bits. Good for my tires. Let's try and capture some of the dirt there. That's sweet. Here we go. Let's get that 3/4 angle shot as well. Very nice. Get a close up of that JDM Forester badge. Very cool. Maybe we get a side shot like this. Get a bit lower. Let's get a full wide shot, hey? This is where a 35mm lens would come in handy, but to stay true to reclaiming the photos, got that Pentax 50mm on there. It's an f2. Great lens so far. Really refreshing shooting in 50mm actually. Here's some details. And I got a really cool photo of the boost gauge once. So I might grab that one as well. Let's see what other photos I can get. Let's get one from back here. This looks pretty cool. I might try and get some of that road. Very nice. All the birds. Don't know if that one turned out. Let's see if I can frame the car between these two trees somehow and include all of that. Tough with a 50mm, but not impossible. Don't know how I feel about that one. Now, in that video, I actually did sell the Pentax K1000 that I shot, but my friend found this Pentax K1000 in a big tub full of other film photography gear that I think his auntie had. So seeing that he had this in that big tub of gear made me think, oh, this could make a really cool redemption video. Maybe I'll try and shoot the K1000 once again. This example is very, very tidy. It was kept in a leather case pretty much its whole life by the looks of it. And what's really cool is that this example actually has the exact same Spider-Man looking thingy in the viewfinder as the one that I shot 3 years ago. So that's really cool. I don't know whether that's a usual defect on K1000s or not, but now I sort of already have my own attachment to this specific example as well. So I was even more excited to go out and shoot. There are water dragons on this path. So before I started this video and on my drive here, I had some time to think about the time between making this video and the one I made before. And that's 3 years. 3 years ago, I didn't have kids. 3 years ago, I didn't have as much experience as I did shooting. 3 years ago, my taste for photos was quite different to what it is now. Now, I don't know exactly what my taste in photos is right now. I don't exactly know what I used to shoot a lot back then. But I know that 3 years is a long time, and thinking back, it would have been really cool to see those photos from 3 years ago and kind of just see how the styles have changed. Shooting the exact same subject 3 years later. One of the things that I struggle with these days, 3 years after shooting that video, is finding time to actually go out and shoot. Life gets busier, especially with kids around. You don't really get the time to go out and just take your time and shoot, which is what I picked up film photography for, slowing down and taking my time to shoot. Because of that, I actually think maybe my taste in photography has changed. Maybe the subjects that I pick up my camera to take photos of has changed, but that's definitely not a bad thing. Growing over time, your photography tastes, it happens. Maybe you have a huge love of street photography, but now you're shooting nature all the time, or cars, and now you're shooting a whole bunch of macro photography, I don't know. But it's definitely a growing medium, this photography stuff, so take it as it comes and really lean into whatever you're shooting more of. And I guess if you ever get to revisit taking photos on an old camera, I would say do it. I guess the big lesson I've learned from revisiting this camera is photography grows over time with the person. Back then, I probably wouldn't have taken the exact same photos that I did today. Maybe I would have taken more, maybe I would have taken less. Back then, things were very different. Just like with my car, things have changed on that thing as well over time. It kind of has evolved along myself as a person. So I don't know, I don't really intend for it to get all deep and philosophical like that, but revisiting all of this sort of stuff makes me think about that sort of thing. Maybe I should do this again in 3 years and see where I am. Now, let me get a photo of all this. This looks really cool. I'm shooting at 1/30th of a second handheld. It is so dark now. All right, I'm just gonna smash out the rest of this little walk, take some photos. It's getting real dark. I wanna be home before I get eaten by some kind of forest monster. So I'll wrap up my video back at home. All right, so one of the redeeming things that I need to do, as per my last video, is successfully unwind this camera. So I think there were some comments in the last video that I made that I need to actually hold down the release button while I rewind it. So just to be a fail-safe, I'm gonna try doing that today. Wish me luck.
Moment of truth. Success.
So after watching the entire shoot, I wanted to share some thoughts on doing this whole exercise of shooting the exact same camera and doing the exact same photo shoot 3 years later. As you would have seen that on the photo walk, I actually got quite reflective of my time shooting film and kind of drew some other conclusions about how time really affects stuff in life itself. Through my head, I was thinking that 3 years ago, I was quite a different person, of course, and 3 years ago my photography was probably quite different to what I shoot now. My photography has definitely shifted from maybe going out and doing more landscapes and actually trying to get more creative with stuff around the house, stuff around the neighborhood, stuff around my own town, which is totally fine. And doing this exercise made me reflect even beyond that. If we go and look at the car that I'm still driving 3 years later, I love my car. Things do change, but passions and interests and functionality change alongside with it too. So that's sort of reflective in the way that the car looks right now. I don't wash it as often. So it kind of made me think that hobbies and interests will definitely grow alongside the person who is interested in it too. My thoughts on the K1000 have definitely changed from the ending of the last video I made.
So, would I shoot with the Pentax K1000 again? Probably not.
Back then, I didn't think I would really shoot it ever again because I was already shooting an AE1. But that being said, the K1000 has found a special spot in my heart. You always hear stories of people getting hand-me-down cameras from their dad or their grandfather or some sort of lost relative. But somehow I've made my own story with this K1000. I didn't have a great time with it the first time, but now coming back to it, it's sort of cemented itself in my own mind and in my own heart that this camera is really, really cool. The K1000 really isn't trying to be anything it's not. It's very timeless design, very simple to use. It's fully mechanical, so it doesn't have any fancy electronics. It only powers the meter, the battery that's in it. It's slow, it's steady, just like time, I guess. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Really helps me out. Absolutely love the K1000. And if you want to see more, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.